Hi everyone, this is Mike Seckinger. I'm your instructor for the Sci 245 geology class. First, let me apologize for the video quality. I'm using my laptop recorder. It's not the best thing in the world, but I think you'll be able to bear with me. What I'm going to talk about real briefly here is about the final project. The final project is the very last assignment that's due in this course. It's a big assignment, so it's worth over 200 points. Therefore, the final project has the ability to either greatly help your average in this class, or it can hurt it. I mean, to be honest, I've taught this class for a long time. I've had students come into the final project with an A average and not really put any effort toward it, and they come out of the class with a B or a C grade. On the other end, I've had students come in with a C average, do extremely well on this assignment, and then end this course with a good grade. So my goal is for everybody in this course to provide a high-quality response to this assignment so you get the best grade possible. A few details about the final project, other than when it's due, it is a 12 to 15 slide Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. I'll be very honest with you. I do not think it can be accomplished in 12 slides. There's a lot of things you have to talk about, and you know, there are students that just can be very, very concise in their writing, and they can hit everything, and it can just be an extremely high quality assignment response and be brief at the same time. That's rare. So I hope that when you see 12 to 15 slides, you're not focused on 12. I really want you to be focused on closer to the 15. Again, a little bit of work, maybe a few more slides, may make a big difference in your grade on this assignment. Lastly, before I go on into the meat of this, know that you cannot post your final project late. This is the one assignment in this course that cannot be posted late. Once midnight of the Sunday, the last week in this course has arrived, that's it. This course is over. No assignment responses can be taken after that. So some of you have done an outstanding job, posted all or most of your assignments on time. Some of you, let's just be honest here, some of you have been a little bit slack as far as meeting all the deadlines. I understand life gets busy, it can get crazy, but understand on this final project it has to be posted on time. No posting late. What I've done right here, and everything that I talk about in this movie I will put on the main forum. What I've done is I've cut and pasted the section from the course design guide. The course design guide breaks down all the specific topics that needs to be discussed in your project. And it does so. I mean, the author, I'm not the author of this course design guide. The author, he did a good job listing everything that needs to be discussed, but in my opinion, this is not a good format for you to use in building your presentation. What I have done is I have taken all the information from the course design guide, and I'll slide the page down here, and what I have done is I labeled it my suggestion. Again, this is my suggestion. You don't have to follow this. There have been students in the past that have done their own thing. As long as you hit all the areas, all the topics that need to be discussed, it'll be fine. But this is my suggestion, and I'm just going to go through this. And then after this, I'm gonna go through a PowerPoint presentation that I thought was done very well, that earned perfect credit, perfect points. It earned all the points. And then I'll show you an example of a PowerPoint presentation that really wasn't that good. So I'm gonna start right here at my suggestion. And slide one. This is pretty obvious. You always want to begin a presentation with a title slide. You don't have to include any graphics. You don't have to include a picture of yourself. If you want to, that's fine. But really, all you need to include is your name and your region. Okay. Let's talk about while I just mentioned the region. Let's talk about that just real briefly. In the very first and second week of this course, I had you select a topic. Some of y'all did an outstanding job picking up a topic. Most of you picked a state. The geology of Georgia, the geology of Idaho or California or so forth. That's great because every state in our country has enough geological variety to fulfill all the requirements of this assignment. Some of you, however, were very, very specific in your region. That's good and that's bad. First, well, sometimes students will want to do their project on a geological feature that I don't have a lot of experience in, so I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to learn something new in reading the presentation. However, the problem about being very specific is that there may not be enough variety in that region to hit all the points that you need to hit in this final project. Some of you are picking like a mountain ridge, or region, like the Appalachian Mountains or the Rocky Mountains. Some of y'all are doing your final project on the Pacific, the Rim of Fire, and that's fine. Again, make sure that the region you have picked has enough geological variety to hit all the requirements that we're getting ready to talk about. Slide 1, again, title. Slides 2 through 5. Okay, we have spent a lot of time in this course talking about plate tectonics and all the different types of geological features, such as volcanoes. We've talked about geological events, such as earthquakes. And slides 2 through 5, this is where you're going to discuss all the geological events and formations, the significant ones, in your region. Okay? So, like, for example, you may describe the various geological events that have occurred in the region around your feature. Okay? Do you live in an area that is volcanically active, or recent earthquakes? You're also going to talk in these slides. You're going to talk about the various types of rocks that formed in the area: mountains, craters, canyons, volcanoes, fault lines, or folds that are in your region. You're going to spend time, and on these slides, you're going to talk about any geological events, any prior volcanic eruptions or earthquakes or floods or anything related to plate tectonics, anything that had a major impact on the geology of your area. Well, that's a geological event that deserves being discussed in your presentation. Then you're going to talk about any significant water, ocean, desert, or glacial features in your region. Okay, and again, you're going to talk about how the process involved, how they were created. After we go through this, I'm going to show you an example of a presentation that was very good. And one of the very first things you're going to notice is that it is very informative. Remember, when you're doing this final project, remember that you are doing this project at the end of a geology course in which you have learned, or you should have learned, various things and how they relate to geology. This is not a very superficial, shallow presentation. This should be a detailed, informative presentation on the geology of your region. You should approach this like someone who has a good grasp of some very difficult geological concepts. Okay, so let me go forward. So again, slides 2 through 5, you should talk about geological events and formations. Slides 6 through 7, you're going to talk about geologic age. It's very important that you discuss age in your presentation. It's not enough to put down to discuss a region or a feature. You need to discuss when that feature was created, how many millions of years ago. Okay, so you need to devote some time in your presentation to talk about geologic age, and you also need to talk about the methods, carbon dating or other types of methods that was used to date the particular geological features in your region. Slides 7 through 9, I guess that should be 8 through 9. This is all about rocks. Now remember, there are 3 types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. Okay? Rocks, as you know, are made from minerals. Now let me be very clear here, because I've had presentations in the past that because the particular region was mostly metamorphic, there was no discussion on igneous or sedimentary rocks. I cannot think of a region in this country that does not have all 3 types of rocks. Therefore, you need to discuss, in regards to your presentation, what are examples of igneous rocks found in your region, sedimentary rocks found in your region, and metamorphic rocks found in your region. There should be examples of all 3 in your region. Now, there are places like Florida that, Florida's not going to have a lot of metamorphic rocks, but it does have metamorphic rocks. There are going to be some areas that are mostly sedimentary. But again, slides 7 through 9 needs to be a detailed discussion on the rocks in your region. Slides 10, weathering and erosion. Okay? This happens everywhere, and this deserves a good discussion in your presentation. Slide 11, natural resources, renewable and non-renewable. I know that not every region in this country has coal. And in fact, there are very few regions in this country where there's oil. But in every region in this country, there is a natural resource that has some economic value. So in your region, you need to locate the resources that are abundant, both renewable and non-renewable, and you need to discuss the economic value of these resources. Please don't include, how do I say this? Please don't include human-made resources. I had a student in the past. She discussed Six Flags Over Georgia as a natural resource. Okay, and she devoted 2 slides to Six Flags Over Georgia. You know, again, that would be great in a tour guide book, but this is a geology class, and we don't need to learn about Six Flags Over Georgia. So keep your conversation regarding natural resources limited to things that are about geology. Slide number 12, you're going to talk about your conclusion. I want you to explain why you selected this geological feature. Be detailed in your explanation. Don't just put down, well, I like it, or this is where I'm from. Okay? Surely you can provide an intelligent response to why you selected this feature for your final project. Slide 13 and on. You got to have, you're going to have references. They need to be in APA format. APA format, it has a particular way that you need to put it. I'm not going to be super critical about the format. I'm not going to check, proper placement of a period and spacing and so forth. But what I do want to see in the references is, would I be able to access that resource from the information you provide? Could I use the author's last name and first name and the title of the journal or so forth? Could I go to that website? Did you provide me the complete URL address so I can just go to that? The whole thing about a reference page is that I can use those references to go to your resources. Okay. That right there was a complete breakdown of how I think the slides should be organized. You don't have to follow this. You can come up with your own format. Again, as long as you hit all these topics. Okay? Let's look, and this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to break here in just a second. Let's look real quickly at some PowerPoint presentations that were really good. I'm going to do a bad one first, and let's just be honest here. When I say bad, this one, I don't exactly remember the score, but this is less than 50% of the points. So this presentation earned less than 100 points. So, and that could be significant. So the very first thing you'll notice when you go through the slides is that you see a complete lack of graphics and pictures. Okay? Very unacceptable. Your presentation must include many graphics, many pictures, many presentations. Okay? How boring is a PowerPoint presentation that only has one picture? Also, this person who built this did not really put any information. He or she put bullets down, okay, but there is no detailed discussion of these concepts. Sometimes these concepts, like right here, just resources. No discussion. Geological events. Again, you have this person just making bullets of the particular topics with no detailed discussion about them. Okay, and again, I'm going to put this on the main forum so you can pour through this example, and I'll even have it labeled as Final Project Pour Example so you know which one I'm talking about. And again, I want you to go through this, see if you can pick out all the things all the reasons behind the point deductions. And again, what I want you to learn from this is that this is just not a good example. If yours looks like this, then you need to correct it. You need to change it before you post it in. All right, let's go to a good example. All right, title slide, you know, nothing too fancy there. Let me slide, okay. Let's go, here you go. This project was done on the Greater Toronto area, which at first I was very skeptical because I thought, wow, there are enough geology within this region to have a presentation on. So that I thought that was very interesting. And then as you go through this, I really want you to spend time going through this one. There's a lot of detailed information on this presentation. Here's your good detail about a geological timeline. Here's your extensive discussion on the geological features of the region. Again, more discussion. Okay, here's discussion on plate tectonics. Okay, here's a detailed discussion on the geological age of the features in the region. And again, as I go through this, I really want you to look at the amount of information provided, the graphics and diagrams and pictures that were used, and you can tell that this student had put considerable time and energy and effort, and this is just an outstanding final project. And I want yours to look just like this. Maybe not just like this, but I want it to be of this quality. Okay, here you go, pictures of rocks, the actual detailed discussion, the types of rocks, a conclusion, and 2 pages of references. Okay. I need to bring this to an end because this video is already getting too long. But again, what I want to leave you with is to start this final project. If you haven't started already, start it now. Okay, get on this project soon. Do not wait till Sunday morning. It will be too much work to accomplish this in one day. Make sure your final project is informative. Don't be brief. Okay? And if you find a format that's different than mine, that works for you, do it. You do not have to use my format. Remember, the final project cannot be posted late. It must be posted by Sunday by midnight. As always, I am available by phone, by email, or text if you have any problems. So please do not hesitate to contact me if you run into any problems. I am looking forward to seeing all of your great final project responses. Thank you.